Gina Carano and Disney settled their legal dispute. Finally, it's been years. It's been years since they fired Gina Carano because of her conservative views, which is just ridiculous on the face of it. Common sense is finally starting to prevail in this country. Reasonability is finally winning out when it comes to these things now. But we're going to talk a little bit about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Hot Air, and they report that Gina Carano and Disney have settled their long-running legal dispute over her firing from the show The Magnadorian. I can never even say that word. I never even watched the show, to be honest with you. Manador, yeah, y'all know what it is. Back in 2021. But here's Carano's statement about the settlement on X. She said, "I want to extend my deepest, most heartfelt gratitude to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, a man I've never met, who did this good Samaritan deed for me in funding my lawsuit. Thank you, Mr. Musk and X, for backing my case and asking for nothing in return. To my lawyers at G Shar Share, who Jeff, who walked me through this unknown territory. Thank you for your wisdom and guidance. I am humbled and grateful to God for his love and grace in this outcome. I'd like to thank you all for your unrelenting support throughout my life and career. You've been the heartbeat that has kept my story alive. I hope to make you proud. I'm excited to flip the page and move on to the next chapter. My desires remain in the arts, which is where I hope you will join me. Yes, I'm smiling from my heart to yours, Gina." She's thanking Elon Musk because he put up the money to back her lawsuit. Carano also linked uh, to this Variety story, which includes a statement from Disney. It says, a Lucasfilm spokesperson said in a statement provided to Variety, quote, "The Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Gina Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit against the companies. Ms. Carano was always well respected by her directors, co-stars, and staff, and she worked hard to perfect her craft while treating her colleagues with kindness and respect. With this lawsuit concluded, we look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Ms. Carano in the near future." Looking at the two statements, I think it's pretty clear who won this settlement. Carano is smiling and happy to move forward. Disney is reversing course, praising Carano as a professional who treated colleagues with kindness and suggesting they will hire her for future projects. That's a long way from where they were in 2021. We don't even need to go back that far. Just last summer, Disney was trying to get the lawsuit dismissed, and a federal judge said no. U.S. District Judge Sherilyn Peace Garnett on Wednesday pushed back on arguments from Disney lawyer Daniel Petroselli, who argued that the lawsuit should be dismissed because the company has the, quote, right not to associate with a high-profile performer on a high-profile show who's imbuing the Star Wars series with views it disagrees with that could turn fans away from the show. Petroselli urged the court to find in favor of Disney on its First Amendment defense on dismissal rather than a later stage of litigation after discovery takes place, in which it's determined whether the case should be allowed to proceed to trial. Quote, "I'm not convinced there are no disputed facts," Judge Garnett responded. She pointed to allegations that Carano was terminated to deflect attention from Disney's contentious business decisions at the time, including the company's contract dispute with Scarlett Johansson and criticism of Florida's parental rights in education law, which led to the dissolution of its special tax district in the state. At Wednesday's hearing, Jean Shar, a lawyer for the actress, stressed that the comments at issue in the case were made from Carano's personal social media accounts. Quote, nothing she said was on the show or on set, he said, as Carano sat at the defense table in the courtroom. Disney has been a woke dumpster fire for several years. It's pretty funny to look back at all of this and see their lawyers claiming they were protecting the Star Wars brand from harmful views. Yeah. What about the crazy leftist views that they allow there? And then the same Disney will go on to release what is undeniably the most hated and stupid Star Wars property of all times. Yes, including the original holiday special, The Acolyte. He says, I never watched it. I watched all of that train wreck and described it in detail. Okay, I don't know. But very briefly, the message of this show, as structured, is that the awful behavior of the space police, the Jedi, should radicalize us all, maybe to the point of violence and revenge. Again, you can see how this might have seemed like a good idea to a certain group of Hollywood creatives in late 2020 or thereabouts. But in 2024, it just seemed unhinged and completely at odds with everything Star Wars has been about up to now. So Disney didn't want Gina Carano to tarnish Star Wars, but then spent $160 million turning Star Wars into a BLM fable in space. Nice work there. I guess, like I said, I don't watch any of that woke crap. I refuse to. I'm glad Carano won the settlement, and I hope Disney is smart enough to retrace his steps over the past few years and realize they took some very serious wrong turns along the way. I don't see them changing. They're not going to change. I mean, Disney is done with. They're just woke all the way. I don't see them changing. But given how things have been going at Disney, maybe that's too much to hope. That's what I was just alluding to. But for now, Carano is happy, so I'm trying to be positive. Yeah, I get trying to be positive and optimistic, but you got to be real. Got to be realistic. I don't see Disney ever changing with that woke stuff because they're continuing to do the same stuff that people been turned off for. They continue to put out crap like the Snow White and stuff like that. I mean, they had a chance to go back and change it. They really didn't change it that much. It was still a terrible story, but again, I think Disney is woke. They're gonna remain woke, and I don't see them changing anytime soon. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.